Alright guys, welcome back to the third and final match here with Blue White Miracles. We are 2-0 right now in the single queue lobbies, which is awesome. Blue White Miracles showing up, beating Panza and Jacekai Control. Excuse me. We won the die roll once again, which is pretty lucky for us. We've won the die roll every time so far, if I remember correctly. So that's awesome. And let's go ahead and play first. Let's get this out of the way. I think this is a keep. It's sketchy, but if we hit land number 2, we're in business. So, the question is, do we shock here? We probably do. We'll feel bad about that if we're up against like burn or something, but Terminus. Terminus could be good. Is that greedy? That could be really greedy. Like, if our opponent is just completely creature-based, it's greedy, but I'm going to do it. We could also upkeep. Ooh. Aether Vial. Okay. Right, so we could upkeep Telling Time if we don't want to draw that Terminus right now. And that would be really nice. Right, so it looks like we're up against like Eldrazi and taxes or something like that. So if I can trade off Terminus for even one creature, I think I'm going to. If I can't, I'm going to go ahead and Telling Time on my upkeep here. Because I don't want to draw Terminus right now. I want to hit land drops. Put a card into your hand. Put a card on top. And see you later, Terminus. It'll be a shame if we get hit by like a Thought-Knot Seer here, but I think that's just one of the Raven Spectre. Okay, just one of the things that we have to do, because Terminus could have been perfect. It could have been exactly what we need against like a turn 1 Dork into a turn 2 creature or something like that. But in this case, our opponent had a slightly different curve. Alright, our opponent probably plays like a Thalia here. Yep. Sure. So I guess the question is, do we want to hold up Path to Exile? Or do we want to just slam as Kanto? It's tough, because if our opponent gets this to 3 mana here, they'll have Eldrazi Displacer. Displacer is very scary. I think I'd rather just pass the turn. I think we have a lot of interaction. We don't want to die with that interaction in our hand. Yep. Clue is cycled. Again, now they have a Flicker Wisp, which is really scary. We could just Path to Exile in response to the trigger here. Yeah, I'm actually not super against that. Okay. Got this Thalia off the board. Still have Snapcaster Mage to flash back that Path to Exile. And then we have Opt now, which is nice. Of course, our opponent's Vial is on 3. Ghost Quarter. That's scary. Alright, our opponent attacks for 1. If I knew I had like a Terminus on like the second card under my deck, I would feel really comfortable just desphering this Aether Vial. We might still do that depending on what we draw. Now, we need lands here. And Snapcaster Mage is not a land. Neither is Jace. No. No. Everything is all wrong. I guess I'm okay detention sphering this Aether Vial. They could Flicker Wisp in to save the Aether Vial, but If that's what they're using their mana for, I don't think I'm too worried about that. I mean, if that's what they're using their Flicker Wisp on, yeah. If it's Eldrazi Displacer, it's going to be a little scary, but forcing my opponent to play kind of at sorcery speed here. Oh wow, they can do it twice. Yeah, that's insane. We have Snap Path for the Displacer, though. And then they won't have a way to protect the Displacer. Looks like they just chose to crack the clue instead. Which makes sense, excuse me. This Ghost Quarter stops our, you know... Oh, wow, they just have another one. Okay. Land. Attack with both, probably, yeah. Path to Exile, okay. Sure. I wonder if the move is just... Ooh, but what if they have Restoration Angel? So I think I want to go ahead and Path to Exile here first. That way I can Mana Leak a Restoration Angel. Sure. And then I think I just want to get us canted down here. Having a Scant on the board also incentivizes my opponent to save their Ghost Quarter. For that search. Which means I might be able to pull off Terminus off of Jace Brainstorm without falling too far behind. Now of course my opponent has 6 cards, tons of mana. We got another Aether Vial ticking up here, so I don't particularly like our spot. Another Ghost Quarter makes life tricky. I imagine they take Jace here, or Snapcaster Mage because I have Snap Path. I guess it depends on the other contents of their hand. If they have an Eldrazi Displacer here, we're just absolutely screwed. Alright, looks like they took Snapcaster Mage, makes a lot of sense. Alright, so they could just have like a bunch of Path to Exiles in hand. Something to keep in mind as we're grinding here. This can't, if it's a land, I'm not binning it. I am definitely binning Mana Leak, and I'm definitely transforming. If they want a Ghost Quarter, they can feel free to do so. Here, we can go ahead and Jace Brainstorm, but then if we want to get a land, we'll have to... we'll essentially have to give up our Terminus if we want to not get wastelanded, essentially, or, you know. So we just want to play it cool here. Opponent doesn't know we drew a Path to Exile. We could get a 2-for-1 here if we're lucky. So let's go ahead and run out Snapcaster Mage. Target Path to Exile. I guess we want to trade here. Path to Exile here. We could have saved Path to Exile for like a post-combat threat like Thought-Knot Seer, but again, if they didn't play anything last turn, it means they would have to draw it this turn. And I'd rather, I'm already at 10 life, I'd rather preserve my life total as best as I can. Alright, there goes Thraben Spectre. I guess now they can save their Tide Hollow Sculler. I guess I should have done it the other way around. Yeah, this was sloppy, because this gives them the chance to now save their Tide Hollow Sculler with their own Path to Exile. Yeah, this is very sloppy of me. Yep. Okay. Alright, so we learned our lesson here. Go ahead and get an island. Yep, so now essentially we traded for a Thraben Inspector? That doesn't feel very good. And our opponent just has another Thraben Inspector, which makes a lot of sense. But it's still not fighting over our search for Azcanta, which is pretty good for us. Here I like the idea of just hard casting Terminus, get back our Snapcaster Mage. Probably want to crack a clue here. Yep. So I want to do that before this Vial gets to 3, because then they can Wasteland Strangler away my Snapcaster Mage. Looks like they might have Thalia. Okay. Interesting. I guess Thalia is not too scary. This Vial getting back up to 3 here is obviously very frustrating, but opponent is potentially flooding out. They might just get in here with this Shambling Vent. Yeah, they want to close out the game ASAP, which makes a lot of sense. Because I imagine they have a few more Path to Exiles in hand, like 2 Paths and a land maybe, 2 Paths and a Flicker Wisp, something along those lines. I don't think they were slow rolling me in terms of like threats. Alright, there goes our search for Azcanta. Here we have an option of, I think the best option here is Snap Path to Exile. That just gives us the best chances of not dying. Now, we do give our opponent the chance to... Yeah, I think I want to do this now. So I don't want to give my opponent a draw step. I don't want to give my opponent any decisions. So of course my opponent knew about this Path to Exile. I think they know most of the contents in my hand. So because we put them on Path to Exile, we didn't want to just rev up Colonnade and block or something like that. Definitely possible that they have a Flicker Wisp here. Yeah, so if they have Flicker Wisp, it still saves us some life by doing it this way. And maybe we can even draw it out and Terminus off of Telling Time. Sure. So, Flicker Wisp saves Thalia. Either Vial ticks up, or probably just stays at 3. Yeah, definitely stays at 3. Question is, are we going to block this Shambling Vent with Snapcaster Mage? We probably want a Telling Time first. Or maybe we don't. Maybe we just block no matter what at this point. Being able to like counter a Thought-Knot Seer might be kind of nice. Or I guess we can't counter a Thought-Knot Seer. We can't counter, like... We can counter, like, a normal 3-drop. But if our plan is to find Terminus, then maybe that's not even realistic, so... I think we just want to block anyways. No matter what we do, blocking is the move. I guess we want to do this right now in case we want to Path to Exile. Path negate is maybe okay. Is it though? Because it's going to cost us 5 mana. I guess we just take the land. So I think we want to Path to Exile the Flicker Wisp here. Because Shambling Vent forces them to use some mana. And And it means we're not dead. Alright, we'd go down to 4, or to 2. That's assuming my opponent doesn't even attack Jace. We can't hold up Colonnade because remember they still have Ghost Quarter. Alright, right. This is what I was saying before. I think we just have to brainstorm here. Verdict. It's great. I guess we go put these two back on top and we have a shuffle effect. Now, Verdict's not actually great because if our opponent doesn't commit more to the board, they can just keep revving up this Shambling Vent. I guess we could have actually hid Supreme Verdict on top of our deck from like a Tide Hollow Sculler or a Thought-Knot Seer. That could have been better. Yep. Now we're getting punished. We are getting absolutely punished here. Wow. Huh. That is my mistake. That is definitely my mistake here. Yeah, because, I mean, we'd still be, well, we wouldn't necessarily be dead, right, because they'd attack Jace, right, yeah. Huh, okay. That is a misplay on my part here. Yeah, both attack Jace makes a lot of sense. Now we lost one of our premier answers in our deck, actually, to this board state here. Because we would have untapped, swept the board, been at 5 life. Wow! Oh, that blind entreat! Oh my god! That's insane! Oh no, they can blink Thought-Knot Seer, take it away! Oh my god, what a game! What a game! Oh my god. That is, yep. That's rough. That means we wouldn't have even kept Verdict, but yeah, we would have been screwed. What do we draw here? Anything? Like a second entreat? No. Maybe they don't take entreat. And we'll scoop it up here. Oh man, wow. I thought for a second that we had it, but that was an error on my part. So I like Settle the Wreckage even though it's kind of reactive in this matchup. But generally, most of our deck not well suited against what our opponent's doing. So we definitely cut Negate. There's an argument that Stony Silence is just better than Mana Leak, but I'm not sure I buy that argument necessarily. I think we'll just run it back like this. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and play first. Ooh, no. Can't keep that. This is a keep, though. This has turn 2 as Kanta online. Let's go ahead and bottom that Serum Visions. Just want to go ahead and find some natural lands here. How did my opponent scry? They scry to the top. And there's an Aether Vial. Okay. I guess it doesn't matter how we scryed, right? Because we want to preserve our life total here as best as possible. Field of Ruin, not bad, but let's go ahead and get Search for his Kanta down. If we can find a Detention Sphere for this Aether Vial, I'll feel much happier. Rest in Peace. Okay, I guess that's pretty good against Search for his Kanta. Don't think I want to put Jace in the yard. I think I want to keep Jace around. Jace is one of the best ways to maybe turbo out and entreat the Angels here. My opponent goes like Eldrazi Temple, Thought Not Seer here. I'm going to be a little upset, but... My opponent has Thalia. I guess it doesn't matter. Tide Hollow Sculler. Will they take Telling Time with this? They might. Oh, wow. I guess we put Snapcaster Mage into our hand. Path on top. Our hand here is not great. They probably take Jace, yeah. Hidden Stockpile. What? Oh, that's insane. No. Is there any reason to, like, Field of Ruin right now and Path right now? I guess I don't care if they get like a sack trigger or if they get a scry out of I guess maybe, I don't know. It's tricky because now they can even save it, but they don't know that we drew Path to Exile. If they attack, wow, they attack. That's aggressive. I mean, these Snapcaster Mages aren't doing anything else, so I might as well just block here. If they want to try to save it with Flicker Wisp, I can Path to Exile it and then get my... I guess Hidden Stockpile is really annoying, but it's part of the game, right? Just have another one here. Another Hidden Stockpile. Wow. Three mana Kumbal. Man, it feels like I'm playing Standard. Alright, let's hope we can find a land on top and we can maybe slam this Jace. Tick up on my opponent. Yeah, I'm going to put Serum Visions in the yard. That's not what I wanted to find. I'm going to go ahead and main phase this. Trying to find a land. Oh my god. Deck, come on. Going up to 4 definitely means Thought Not Seer on my draw step here. Definitely means we're losing this Jace, which is our Miracle Enabler. Yep, they go Thought Not Seer here. Take our Jace. Probably scry 1 with a servo. Yep, scry 1. I'll get 2 more. Jeez. This is some cool sideboard tech. I mean. Can we get some lands, though? Oh my god, that would be so nice, actually. Detention Sphere. Interesting. Do we take the Stockpile or the Thought Not Seer? So Thought Not Seer presents a stronger, faster clock. So I think I'm going to take the Thought Not Seer. It also gets us a draw towards maybe a land here, please. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. This is like worst case scenario. Like obviously if there's a Terminus on top of my deck, I hit the Stockpiles, wait a turn, Terminus. But you can't make those decisions. You don't know. And I don't think it's just correct to hit the Stockpiles, because then we're in a position right here where we're dead on board essentially if there's a Thought Not Seer in play. Hey, a land. Nice of you to join us. So now we at least have Snapcaster Mage to block. But we're so far behind that we're not even like hard casting anything really. I guess we don't even have Snapcaster Mage to block, but at least that ties up their mana if they want to do that. We could shut off their colorless source, actually, for Displacer. The question is, do we want to block a Servo, which then we take 5? I think I'd rather just block Displacer, take 3. This means that if they want to trigger Hidden Stockpile, they'll have to use up some of their own mana. And here, one of our outs is Supreme Verdict. Yeah, so either they misplayed... Okay. No misplay. What do you have for 4 mana here? Thought-Knot Seer? Jeez. Yep. They'll just rip a Terminus here for sure. Then they'll draw step us. Oh wow. Not even draw stepping us? That's interesting. Opt? I feel like we need to get another white source in case we draw Supreme Verdict as one of our best outs here, which is why I'm not sure we can afford to opt here. I guess we can still opt. Put that on the bottom. Just dig closer to potentially Supreme Verdict. Yeah, let's put Mana Leak in the graveyard, and we can make a single angel that then gets displaced, and we lose. Yep, so sometimes, I don't know if I just missequence things there. It's possible that it's just correct to take Stockpile and then play for Terminus. I don't know. Maybe I was playing around things that I just couldn't play around, and I just had to go for kind of my nut draw. But anyways, this can sometimes be a lopsided matchup, especially with Aether Vials, Displacers, and Thought-Knot Seers. It's very, very difficult, especially in the Planeswalker light list that we have. Like, we don't have Gideons, so we can't play, we don't have Dragonlord Urzatai, we can't play more of a mid-range game and kind of just beat them down. We try to answer everything they have, and that's just really hard to do. And they had a pretty sweet sideboard plan here, right? Double Hidden Stockpile, rest in peace. Yeah. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and concede this game now. And stay tuned for the closing comments here with Blue White Miracles. I'll see you all soon. Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to the closing comments here. Thank you so much for watching those last 3 videos. If you did, if you're just joining me right now, we're going to go over, how the deck performed, what matches we beat, and maybe talk about some of the card choices, right? So, let's start from the very beginning. Round 1, we faced Red-Green Ponza. Now, we know Red-Green Ponza recently won the recent Star City Games Open. It was one of the first major paper modern events with the unbans, and so it kind of helps us understand where the metagame is. So Ponza took down the whole event. I believe the player was 13-1 going into top 8, #1 seed, takes down the tournament. Yeah, that's pretty insane. And what he mentioned though was that going first is really important. And luckily for us, we were actually able to be on the play the first game, and that helped us win, against them. And then second game, even though we were on the draw, we had the right mix of answers, right? We were able to leverage our Celestial Purges over their Blood Moons, even though they boiled us. We lost 2 islands, we, had our plains, had a bunch of mountains, and then we drew another island, and we Celestial Purge, snap Celestial Purge. And so the thing with Ponza is that if they don't present a threat to start clocking you, like, destroying your lands doesn't do anything. So a lot of people will just maybe concede early against Ponza. I think that's a mistake. Now, obviously, if your opponent is clocking you with, like, a Tireless Tracker and a Bloodbraid and they have, like, 4 cards in hand, sure. But if they have, like, a Blood Moon and they blew up a couple of your lands and they've got, like, 1 card in hand, don't concede. Play it out. They're the kind of deck that really needs to top deck something, probably just as much as you do. As much as you need to top deck Island, they need to top deck a threat. And if they keep drawing lands and you draw your island, you're going to win. And that's exactly what happened for us, right? So Don't just concede, play it out. Round 2 against Jacekai Control, I actually find myself pretty slightly unfavored against red-based control strategies with a blue-white deck, just because they have a lot of opportunities to get proactive. So they have Bolt, Snap, Bolt, they have Helixes, they have sometimes Spell Quellers and Geists and things like that. So, and the version we faced also had Restoration Angel. So those kind of flash proactive threats put a real stress on our kind of tap out control, right? We have a couple counter spells, we have some decent removal spells, but you know, overall, we like to be able to answer our opponent's threats cleanly, usually on our turn. And it makes that really hard to do when your opponent is flashing in Spell Quellers and Restoration Angels and Bolt Snap Bolts. However, we were able to get there both games, which is rare in my opinion, but it's important that you sequence your turns. Like, I think against Control versus Control is one of the most skill-intensive matchups in Modern. You really need to be able to, you know, maximize your mana, you know, perfect your sequencing, make sure you're playing your spells at exactly what you're supposed to, and you're playing around everything that you can possibly play around without, you know, completely straining your own strategy. And that's what is really important in the control mirrors, especially ones where your opponent is playing really heavily at instant speed. The blue-white control mirror, less so. I'm not to say that that's not a skill-intensive matchup. It sometimes is, but I think against the red-based control decks, you really need to be on top of your game. You can't make any misplays. And we made that one misplay towards the end of the game. It didn't cost us, but it could have. So, again, each decision you make, each card is so important because you're one-for-one-ing your opponent. Similar to how it's so important to maximize your sequencing and spell usage against Jund, right? Because you're going to find yourself in a top deck game at the end, and you find that against Control a lot too. You both expend your fight over something, one of you comes out maybe slightly advantaged but not like winning, and then you have to start drawing from the top of your deck. And that's when you want to make sure that you've maximized your value throughout the game. So we were able to do that against Jacekai Control, 2-0, and I really like the deck's instant speed capabilities. So again, Op, Snap, Op, Telling Time, I think definitely adds percentage to our game against Jacekai or control mirrors rather than hard blue-white control. But that's just my experience in my opinion. But overall, I really do enjoy, you know, obviously the 2 main deck clicks as well help a lot. Okay, so we covered Jacekai Control, and lastly we played Black-White, Eldrazi, and Taxes. We lost 0-2. So Death and Taxes is the kind of matchup that always is really difficult for me when I'm on a blue-white variant. It's a little more manageable when I'm on a Jacekai variant because we have access to bulk, cheap removal, a lot more cheap removal. That way we don't have to expend our Path to Exile on Thalia, and then we get, you know, just totally wrecked by a Thought-Knot Seer. However, the fact that we are playing Terminus, which is a cheap 1-mana kind of sweeper, really goes a long way. However, we weren't able to set up any opportunities to do that. We had kind of some awkward turns in Game 2 where we could have played as if we had Terminus on top of our deck, but we obviously didn't know, so we chose the line that would win, or not win, but would allow us to survive longer in the cases that we didn't have Terminus. It's, however, possible that we should have just played to the fact that, hey, we can only really win this if we have Terminus on top, so let's play as if we have Terminus. And I didn't do that, and it's possible I should have. So that's something I'm going to look back and see those games and see if maybe it's possible that I should have just, you know, gone for the plays as if Terminus was on top. But it's hard to make those plays. So overall, I think Death and Taxes in general is a pretty rough matchup for blue-white, but I think we did as best as we could. And our sideboard, I really like, not just necessarily against Black-White Eldrazi, but I think we have a lot in our sideboard here that comes in against a lot of what Modern is doing right now. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how the deck performed. I'm thinking maybe the deck could use some Spell Quellers in the sideboard. I do like Spell Queller, especially when you side out your sweepers and things like that. So that is something I might consider going forward. It might be better than Aethersworn Canonist in this slot, just maybe more all-around, generally powerful than Aethersworn Canonist, but obviously Aethersworn Canonist is really, really nice against Storm, and Storm is definitely on the uptick right now, so it's important to be cautious of that when you're constructing your sideboard. So moving forward, I'd probably want to find maybe a couple Dispels, maybe some Spell Quellers in the sideboard here, but the rest I kind of like. In terms of the main deck, I don't know if my Counterspell Suite is correct, like 2 Mana Leak, 1 Negate. These might be, should be Logic Knots. Maybe I'm playing, maybe I should be going on all 4 Terminus here. I don't know. Overall, it's hard. I think 23 lands is where Miracles should be. It's right that sweet spot. We have a lot of cantrips. We have a lot of ways to fix, so we don't need that full that full 24, 25 lands. But overall, I really enjoyed playing Miracles. I can't say that it's well positioned necessarily, but I think it can definitely win games. And similar to Blue-White Control, if you master your archetype, I think this can be just as potent of a control variant as any other. But it's important to understand whether you attribute wins to the Blue-White Control shell, or if Miracles actually help us win. And in my opinion, I think Entreat the Angels did some nasty, nasty work in some of those games. So I think the Miracles package definitely helped us in a lot of cases. I can't say that it absolutely was the reason that we won, but you know, Entreat is really a really potent, you know, win con in a deck that can set it up. That's either with Jace, Telling Times, and things like that, and Serum Visions even, right? So overall, that's all I have to say. I don't know when the next time I'll be able to make another video is, but I do appreciate all of you watching, supporting. I believe we've reached 1,000 subs, and what I want to do after we've reached 1,000 subs, I'm not 100% sure what the plan is yet, but I want to do something special. I want to do something really, really special to commemorate reaching 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think I've been doing this for just a little over a year, and it's just awesome, awesome, awesome feeling to know that there's a bunch of people out there that support me and what I do, and that they enjoy the content that I create. That really fulfills me, you know, in my hobbies and what makes me happy. You know, separate from my life, personal life, social life, career. You know, this is my most I don't say time consuming, but it's the hobby that I put the most time into, and honestly, just like a part of my life at this point. Magic is a part of my life, and now YouTube is a part of my life. It's a way for me to share my love for Magic and Modern with all of you guys, and I hope that you've enjoyed the content over the past year. Obviously, there's been some ups, been some downs, but I think overall I've learned a lot over the past while doing this, and so I'm slowly trying to kind of ensure that the quality is only going up and up. So I hope you stick around with me for as long as I do this, and I hope I do this for a very long time. Anyways, that's going to be my last comments here. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more content, hopefully coming next week. See you guys later.